Hello and welcome to Story Time with I Have Issues. Today's story is from my book, I Have Issues, A Tale of Woe and Triumph and Other Stories. And there's my logo. And this one's called Lenny, Benny, and Fenny. I know, my titles are really good. And the names I give my characters is also very good. Lenny was a quiet kid, just 5 years old, but he was special. He could draw amazing things. One day he drew a tall building. Another day he drew a bug. But on this one day, everything changed when he drew a monster. It came to life. Oh no, there's Lenny, and there's whatever he drew. Lenny was very scared and thought he never wanted to draw again. But even though the monster looked scary, he had a sweet smile that put Lenny to ease right away. At ease. He actually became Lenny's best friend. Lenny drew another monster, so his first monster, Benny, could have a friend. That monster came to life too. He was much scarier than Benny, but soon Lenny saw that he was also very kind. His name was Fenny. Do you like my drawings? I'm the writer and illustrator. I bet there's a lot of people writing books that want me to illustrate now. Lenny, Benny, and Fenny all played together every time Lenny was in his room. When his monsters got hungry, Lenny would draw a fruit basket, and they would all eat until full. Sometimes Lenny would draw a big box of chocolates and pizza, and their tummies would ache afterwards. Cats, are you all right, Izzy? My cat's playing in a bag. When Lenny's mom needed beef for the stew, he'd just draw a cow. His mother came to him the next day and asked that if he was going to draw beef for the stew, that he simply draw some meat, rather than the whole cow that his mother would eventually grow to love and not want to eat. Lenny simply smiled, shrugged his shoulders, and said, "Sorry, Ma." One time his family was in need of money. Their electricity was about to be shut off, and his mom just couldn't work any longer or harder than she already did to raise money for Lenny. So he drew a pot full of gold. Lenny's mom came to him once again. She said, "Lenny, dear, this is not really the best way for us to get money." Lenny pouted. His mother continued, "However, this one time I'll let it slide." Yeah, I figured, let one pot of gold slide. Lenny smiled and saw the huge grin that came on his mother's face as she turned to leave. I'm sorry. Lenny thought for sure he saw his mom skip out of the room. Life went on after that. Very well indeed. Lenny and his mom had everything they needed or even wanted, which Lenny was not used to. One day he came home from school and found a brand new pair of snow boots just waiting for his feet to slide into. And he hadn't even asked for them, nor had he mentioned that his feet were always ice cold in his worn shoes. It was a great feeling to not be in so much need of things. Lenny, Benny, and Fenny had many hours and hours of playtime when Lenny would get home from school. They played Train the Bat, Scrub the Tree with a Sponge, Benny's favorite. But even with all that fun, it was one day that Lenny discovered that his two dear friends seemed sad. Lenny asked, "Why are you both so sad? Maybe I should draw another big snake for us to play with. That one slithered away when Mama chased it with a broom." But no, Benny and Fenny didn't want another play snake. Lenny then asked, "Wait, what if I draw another unicorn and we fly down the street to Slapdiddle's Groceries and get some ice cream?" Here, let me show you the picture first. Benny and Fenny looked at each other. "Nah, thanks anyway, Benny. We remember the last time we did that. That store manager sure looked scared when we were browsing the ice cream in the frozen food section." Lenny concentrated really hard but couldn't think of another thing to do to make his best friends happy. He just decided to ask them again, "Then why are you sad?" Benny and Fenny burst into super large tears that were starting to flood the kitchen where they all stood. Together they wailed, "We miss our mommy." Lenny started to cry too. He would truly miss his good friends, but because he loved them so much, he knew he could get them back home. And besides, he could always draw more monster friends if he got lonely. He knew it was the right thing to do to send his friends home. Lenny concentrated really hard and drew a forest. Benny and Fenny added comments as he drew. Benny said, "There's a cabin over here." And Fenny said, "There's a Christmas tree there." Finally, the forest was complete, and they said goodbye to their little friend. Benny said, "Keep this drawing, Lenny. Whenever you want to come visit us, just come on in. Oh, but bring paper and crayons with you so you can draw your way back home." The end. And with everybody, oh, I'm not done with the story yet. Lenny nodded, smiled with a few tears falling, and watched as his friends walked over to the forest drawing, stepped into it, and went home. The end. I didn't even know the end of my own story. I think it's a really good story for now, with us still being inside our houses for the most part, and just a creative way of using our imagination. So I don't care if you're an adult, and especially if you're a child, draw someplace you'd love to be, but don't go in it. Don't go in the picture. Don't draw anything that comes to life. If it does, you may want to destroy the picture. But if you draw a pot of gold and it comes real, then call me. Okay, call me. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.